I'll just. So you got somebody? I mean, Wolf, you got somebody in here after this?
I gotta bounce out.
Oh, he gotta leave. So yeah, so we gotta get to shooting.
Hmm.
I don't want to let them. Damn.
Yeah, I can go. You just let me know. I can go down and get them.
All right. All right. No, that's why we got to get to shooting.
Do what it. Listen, time is money. If you early, you on time. You on time, you late.
Yep.
I don't need my phone in the shoot.
Mics are hot. You guys can start whenever you are ready.
All right. Mm-mm-mm.
This is nice.
Thank you.
You slow. You doing your thing too.
I'm moving, man. I'm trying to get this shit to grow some legs.
Listen.
Yo, welcome back to the Moving Forward Show. Y'all already know what time it is, man. I'm your host, Flo Bomber. Big shout out to my boy, Drama Bentley. OBH Drama Bentley was here last week.
Mm.
I let out an interview with him and my boy Cadillac.
Nice.
Shit went viral all on Instagram.
Dope.
Shit's crazy right now. I probably can't go to Philly because he was saying some shit, but
Listen,
it's not my fault. I'm just the host
You
on the
doing what
show.
you do.
Like, I ain't know what was going to be said when it was said.
right.
Understand?
All
But-
you're doing is giving the people what they want.
But not too much of that. Listen, y'all, I got a beautiful host with me, guest. And she came out with a book. It's a great book. Y'all need to check it out. Y'all see it right there.
Yes, sir.
Y'all see it. Whatever. Voice of a Fostered Child, From Pain to Purpose,
Absolutely.
by Darnella M. Miller.
Yes, sir.
That's your name now that you got married?
Yes, Mrs. Darnella Megan Miller.
Mrs.
I wear it
Darnella
proud. Yes.
Megan Miller. Beautiful book.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful
Aw.
book.
Thank you, Flo. Oh, thank you.
I ain't even, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I don't read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a book, I put the shit on audio. Like, I
Right.
want to listen to it.
Uh-huh.
So you challenged me. When you gave me the book, you challenged me. It was like, now I have to read the book. In order for this interview to make sense,
Mm-hmm.
I have to read the book.
Absolutely.
And I read it.
Ooh, I'm ready to hear your thoughts.
As you see, I got shit highlighted and
I
everything.
see.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. Let's go.
But let the people know again your name and where you from, because in the book I don't know where you from. What do you take as your home, Bushwick or Bed-Stuy?
So, well, my name is Darnella Miller. I am first and foremost a child of God, a wife, a mother, an author, entrepreneur, all the things that were stacked against me that they said I wasn't, I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that's first and foremost. Where am I from? Like you said, I was all over New York City growing up in the foster care system. I was born in Brookdale Hospital, so some may say I'm from Brownsville. I was in Bushwick.
No, just because you was born in Brookdale, that don't mean you was. Where was your mother living when she gave birth in Brookdale?
Amboy.
Oh yeah, you from Brownsville.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You from the Ville.
I'm from the Ville. Lived
10 Amboy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you from the Ville.
Over there, Amboy Howard, over there.
Yeah, you from the Ville.
Don't do that. I was there for 4 years of my life until, things happened.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was in so many different of the tri-state area growing up in foster care.
Yo, and you also was a victim of sexual and physical and emotional abuse and stuff like that.
Yeah. Jump into it.
There's so many things I want to talk about. Okay, so how much did your childhood affect your relationships in the beginning?
In the beginning, with whom?
Just from your childhood trauma, how much did that affect all your relationships? Because I know that you've been through so much that you probably ain't trust nobody, or you probably trust everybody that showed you a little bit of love.
Nah.
Let's talk about
Nah. I've trusted nobody, but I gave everybody the benefit of the doubt till they crossed me.
Mm-hmm.
My trust was like, you did something I don't like. It was nothing for me to cut you off, because once you rub me the wrong way, I can't trust you. I'm not the type of person that's not going to give you the opportunity, But just know there's like no way in without getting to know me, because I ain't trust mommy, I ain't trust daddy. My first protectors didn't protect me, so who else gonna protect me? Your word is not your bond, because the people that's supposed to instill that in me didn't. So now everybody is suspect. And then on top of that, going through the foster care system and everybody telling me I'm going to be okay when I wasn't okay, that was a problem too. So everybody was I don't trust you, I don't know you, but I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
Now, the foster care system is tricky, and I'm surprised that you didn't, being that you was involved in that, because most people. I had another girl on my show, and she grew up in foster care, and she eventually went into working. Well, she don't work there no more. She's actually a chef. She's like a big duper chef. Shout out to Chef Couture.
Nice.
She was on my show.
I may need her one day.
Yeah, you got. I'm gonna plug y'all in. And she actually grew up before she found that her hands was gifted in the kitchen. She actually started working in the system, the foster care system, like the ACS and stuff like that. I'm surprised that you didn't want to take on that as like you work for them or something.
Right. Well, maybe now, because at first I didn't know what I want to do, because I'm just living. I'm living each day to survive. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I don't know what I want to do. I'm surviving. And then the dreams that I did have, like being an Alvin Ailey dancer or running track, I became a mother. I got pregnant at 15. So them dreams are just done.
Oh, basketball too. I never knew that you played basketball. I read the book.
I see. Yes.
I never knew you played basketball.
Shout out to Mr. Fair. I haven't spoken to him since high school. Mr. Fair and Miss Ravenel. Yep. The old boys high, Street Academy.
You played for Street Academy?
Chill.
And now, yo, I was getting mad hype, like, because first of all, in the book, you gotta be easy on NYCHA now. You kind of diss NYCHA. You shit in housing and that shit.
But it is what it is, though. Those are the conditions that I was in. That's my story.
Nah, you're right. And you RV too and all that?
Yes.
That's where you was at?
RV.
All that time you was living in Roosevelt?
Yep. When I aged out at 21, I aged out at 20. I was in Roosevelt from 20 until I got up out of there like 10, 11 years after.
So all the time you was in high school, you was in foster care?
Yes.
A group home?
Yes.
So
a ward of the state.
So group homes is not just for bad children. That's for foster children that age out of the foster care system. Then they get old enough, then they got to go to a group home.
No. So I'm going to explain it to you. So I ended up in a group home because at the age of 13, when my foster mother gave me back to the system, nobody wanted a teenager. Some of these foster parents, they want babies. They want people that they can mold. They don't want the older children. So as I'm sitting in the agency waiting for placement, we can't find no home for you. Nobody wanted to take a 13-year-old. So I ended up in a group home. That was the only thing that was available to me then. Independent living.
Wow, that's crazy. And it's so much. Yo, Darnella. It's so much.
I see.
Yo, so I want to know with your godmother, the abuse your godmother did to you when you said she used to sit you in a tub and comb.
The webs.
So she used to beat you, put you in a tub and comb?
Yes. I'm going to be even because I'm going to give grace. God bless her soul right now.
She passed away too?
Yes.
So everybody that did you dirty died?
Come on. Yes.
And they died early?
Yes.
But speak about it.
So, like I said, God bless her soul, my godmother.
How old was they? I know your mother was 44, 43.
44.
44. Your father was when he passed?
63, 64.
Okay.
My godmother, I don't even know because I was already going by then. But I do know she passed away recently because my cousins reached out to me. But it's in the book. I was going like this, sucking on my arm. You know how I chow you, boy, making little marks on my arm.
You was making hickeys on your arm.
Chill, yes. I was bored. I ain't had nothing else to do. And she was like, what are you doing? You crazy. And I guess she was under the influence and whipped me bad. And it was right over there, Kings Highway on the castle. They call the building the castle on Kings Highway.
That's where you was living at the time?
Yes, yes.
Or that's where your father was living at the time?
Because anywhere my father was, I was. So if
Okay.
that's where he laid his head, that's where I laid my head. And the beating, the bruise, the web swelled up.
Back
You
then.
trying to make me cry already?
Listen. Back then,
Mm-hmm.
we all got beat though.
But it was a different type of beating. When you get beat and then you have to suffer from that. Imagine them webs on your body and then putting in a hot tub and being combed.
That's different.
Because you know how they used to say, if you comb the hickey, it takes because it's a blood
but
clot.
that was a lie.
And it wasn't no regular meat. It was with extension cords.
Yeah, that's different.
Like, I remember that.
Yo, that's so different. So you really had a lot of hatred towards your godmother.
I had a hatred towards my parents in general.
So why, like, what you said your father beat you to the point of no return. So you was going through, so you went from being with your mother,
taken away from her.
Your mother was under the influence because she was eventually was getting high. It wasn't crack that she was on. She was on heroin.
On crack, heroin.
Oh, she was on everything.
Everything. My mother didn't want to show her arms when she used to wear long sleeve shirts in the summertime.
Who you look like? You look like your mother or your father?
I look like my mom.
Why you didn't show pictures of your parents in the book?
Because growing up in foster care, I don't have much pictures of them.
So no family members have pictures?
They have pictures, but that's their pictures. I have pictures as I'm older. I don't have a lot of baby pictures of me. I don't have a lot of young pictures of me.
Wow. So who gave you the book, the picture that's on the cover?
Shout out to my brother Isaiah. My brother Isaiah. I was with him for a little while. And it's crazy because he was like, yo, sis, now that I forgot you used to live with us, but we're 5 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So shout out to him for the picture. And I cherish that picture because you can see the strength in that picture. One, I'm holding a toy, and the other, I'm holding a weight, knowing who would have known I would have had the weight of the world on my shoulders at that age.
How old was you?
I had to be about 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you was actually living with your dad around this time?
No, I got taken away when I was 4.
So you was in the foster care in this picture?
Mm-hmm. And they used to.
This was a visit. This was at a visiting. So that's actually like a little lounge area where they go visit at in this picture.
Yeah, the blue walls at the agency, 540 Atlantic Avenue, used to be called St. Joseph for Children and Family Services. It's not even there no more.
Where that's at?
It's not there no more.
That's in the east. That's
downtown Brooklyn.
Oh shit!
But it's not even there no more.
I think I used to remember that. It was all girls or something?
No, it was just an agency.
Wow, I think I remember going past that shit back in the day.
Yep.
But that's wow, man. Yo, Darnella, it's just so much. Nah, seriously.
You know me from the age and never knew.
I never knew what you was going through as a child.
Right.
Because we all, I'm a little older than you, but we all went through that crack era.
Right.
Growing up in the 80s, 90s, really. 80s we was kids, 90s we was really experiencing the outcome of the effect that the crack did to our parents and uncles and aunts and people around us.
Mm-hmm.
So we
But
grew
it's different when you're being traded for these reasons. So yeah, we experienced, but I was traded for her high.
Exactly.
So it's a difference.
See, growing up, seeing what it do, then actually having a friend that's growing up in it and she's actually being neglected because the parents is now, they fell from the drug. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I salute my moms. I grew up in a single parent household. It just was my mom's. My father, he was getting high. He was, my father, well, shout out to my Aunt Shelly. She actually took my pops and cleaned them up. But until then, my father still was getting high. Went to jail, did a lot of time, came home and still was getting high. So I grew up in a single parent household. And I used to have friends that parents was getting high. And I used to see, but they never went to foster care.
Right.
They never did that. So to read your book, to hear how your mom was getting high and neglected you, which led to you being molested. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that part. I don't want to do too much on that.
Right.
I just want to talk a little bit about that part.
Mm-hmm.
Did your mother trade you in for that? Like, I give you my daughter for the drug?
Well,
if you could remember.
I can't really remember.
Do you remember who it was?
Absolutely. May God rest his soul too.
What?
But I absolutely remember. I don't know if it was a trade-off or what, but I know my mother was there in the corner while it was happening.
And she seen it happening.
She seen it happening. As I look over, what I see, a crack pipe and flicker of a light. So was I a trade-off? That's why I said it was a trade-off, because you didn't protect me. Something has happened to me, but yet you fixing on your own fixation. And your child is looking for you for help.
You was 4.
4.
At this time.
Yes.
So when you wrote this book, right? Explain the pain that you was going through as you was reliving it. It had to been hard to relive these moments as you writing this book. And what year did you write the book?
I had to really relive a lot of moments. That one in particular, I tried to brush past it, but my editor was like, no. She said, if you're going to heal out loud, this is your story. Somebody else had to go through this. Somebody else went through this. So if you're going to tell it, tell it. And I closed my eyes. I had a talk with my husband to let him know that I'm about to put this in the book. And he was like, are you sure? Are you right? And he made sure he catered to me, because I can see his face. I know what he looks like. Mm-hmm. I know the build of his body. Mm. And I'm only 4 years old. So I traumatized for life. So have to relive that moment. I fought with myself like, damn, am I going to make my mother look crazy? But this is my story. This is my testimony. I didn't let it define me. I beat this. I protected my children because of this. So it was very hard to relive. And I got to shout out to my husband, because, I wrote this book in April of 2022.
I need you. Oh. Yeah, you go. I need to hear this.
So I wrote this book in April of 2022. I was going through it. Me and the husband had just moved the family out the pandemic. I was isolated. He was back and forth to New York for work, and I just felt alone sometimes. And I just was like, I need something. I need to relive this. Because then, like you said, the trust issues, we moving into Connecticut, my husband in New York. I'm like, you going too long out the day. Who you with? Who you around? Because now the idle mind is the devil's playground. So my husband going out of the day, but I had to realize that was that trauma. That was that not feeling secure. That was that not having that trust. Mm-hmm. So I have to shout him out, because he was definitely my backbone. My friends, I had a very strong support system. And then I'm in therapy as well. My therapist said you need to lean on them, because you're opening up wounds that some of the stuff that I wrote about, I had forgot happened until I started having to dig in. Mm-hmm. I remember the graduation where I was by myself and just standing on the wall waiting to line up. Junior high school, graduating from, what school was that? I think it was Tilden. And I look up and I hear my mother's voice. And it's her, my little sister. Is she under the influence? Yeah, but guess what? She was there.
She was there.
And as I wrote this book, she was under the influence. By high school graduation, she was there. Under the influence, gave birth to my firstborn. She was there. So she had her own addiction, and that's why I say sometimes you got to give your parents grace, because they only going off what they knew. They only going off what they know and how they were taught. Through the grace of God, I broke that cycle with me and mine.
Yep.
So yeah, it was very heavy to relive those moments.
Is Mama Hagen still around?
Yes, Betty Hagen.
Is cousin Laverne?
My auntie Livy.
Auntie?
Yes.
She's a cousin, but she's older, so.
Yes. She's in her 70s, but she look good. And I met her in the church.
Right. No, we gonna get into all that. We got time.
You asking about them.
We got time. I'm just asking, are they still living? Yes. And they still around? They still in your life?
Heavy.
It's something that you wrote, and I just want to get the definition.
I see you got a lot of pages highlighted there.
You said, restrictions on my plans. Despite having full custody of my daughter, She was also a ward of the state, preventing me from leaving the state to attend college.
Right.
I never knew that if you was in a foster care or group home that you couldn't go to a HBCU college.
You can't go away. You're a ward of the state.
I never knew that.
You can't leave.
But see, that's crazy. And I wanna talk a little bit about that. Why is that? Why did they tell you that? Why can't you leave to go to school if you're in foster care?
You can go to school, but you just can't go out of the state.
Yeah, but why? What made those restrictions? Like, what's the reason for that? You ain't asked them?
But so, because I'm a ward of New York State, the New York State government, I'm under the care of the foster care system. I am a ward of the state. If something happens to me outside of the state, New York State will be responsible for me. So that go that restriction. We're not trying to take care of you in a whole nother state. You belong here. This is where you were born. You are a ward of this state. You will have to attend with the resources that's in this state. And then on top of that, I had a child. You're not taking this child out of the state. You're already a teen mother in foster care, and we're providing for you. How you going to take this child out of the state and provide if you can't provide for yourself?
That had a lot to do with money.
Of course.
They got money from you, from being in the system, and they wasn't allowing you to get financial aid because they was paying for your room.
I can get financial. I was getting full financial aid, but in a New York State college.
Right, but not for the HBCU.
Absolutely.
They wasn't going to let you get a scholarship if you needed
No,
that.
no.
No, she can't get no scholarship. This is our bread right here.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. If you miss a bed, you miss a payment.
Right.
You said you read it. They wasn't, when I was AWOL, they wasn't calling to find out if I was okay. They was calling the cops because they was missing money out this bed.
They get money every day, every night they get money.
Yes.
Every time you sign that book, that's attendance that, all right, this is another check being wrote.
And now they not only getting a check for me, they getting a check for my daughter.
Exactly. That's 2 checks.
Absolutely.
So you goddamn right we going to call the cops. Where's Darnella? It's not funny.
It's not. I can laugh at it now. It is.
The same thing as when you sign up your children in IEP. The schools get money for every child that they put in special ed.
Let me tell you something.
Even if your child not on special, he needs special ed, he need IEP.
Exactly. And not realizing maybe something is really wrong with that child. But let me tell you something. Foster care, taking the children away from their families is like $1 billion business. Instead of helping these families take care of themselves and get these children back, they're removing them and paying other families to take care of them. But are they really taking care of them? They're causing more trauma to them.
So that's what I want to ask you. Is the system helping or is it causing more harm?
Well, for me, I'm not for the system or against the system. I experienced a lot. There's a chapter in there called Childhood Interruptions. You have me in this home away from my family, but yet you dangling my family over me every Friday at the agency. Are you really thinking you helping me?
So how many runaways it be behind that?
What? I've ran away plenty of times.
Right.
I ran away. My siblings has ran away. I know people that run away all the time trying to find their parent.
Right.
So are you really helping them or are you harming them? And then, like I said, you're going to these weekend visits every Friday for an hour with your brothers, your sisters, your mother, for you to go back to a house where you know you don't belong. That's adding extra trauma. So I don't know how we can fix the system because this is my story, and I'm sure my story will relate to other people in the story. But when you dangling these kids and you're not helping the mother or helping these parents, but then you got to send them back home, you're causing more harm.
Your book is very therapeutic, especially when you were saying how you was raising your daughter and how you grew up, as far as like getting your menstruation and how you felt as a child as being neglected. So I'm reading that like, damn, I got a daughter. And certain things you were saying, I was actually highlighting to put that a part of my life. Now, you heard about Stockholm, what's that, Stockholm syndrome? You ain't developed, you don't think that you had any of that during your traumas?
I can't say yes.
Far as still having the love for the people who hurt you the most.
I don't have love. for the man who did what he did to me? Absolutely not. My mother and my father forever. Because it's because of them I'm here. And like I said, as I got older, I learned to forgive. What you guys weren't able to do, I'm doing. You guys were weak to the system. You guys were weak to the drugs. You fell short of it. It built resilience in me. It built strength in me. That day that I called my social worker and said, nah, come get me and my daughter. This ain't what I want. That took courage because I chose me and my daughter. I broke a cycle. So I'm going to forever have love for my parents. And that's why the book is dedicated to them. Because of you guys, I am here today to tell a story. You guys have your own story. They had their own trials and tribulations. They didn't have the resources that I have today. But one thing for sure and two things for certain, I wasn't going to let that happen to me and mine.
Now, I know when you was writing the book, you probably was communicating with some family members, like probably searching for pictures and asking, do you know my mother? Like, how did my mother grow up? And what led her to the drugs?
I didn't ask questions.
Did you want to ask the questions, or was you scared to ask, or you just didn't want to know?
No, so I know of my mother's traumas. Like I said, it broke you down from family to family to family, and it stopped with me because I wasn't going to be that. I wasn't going to let it happen to my daughter.
Was your mother sexually abused?
That's her story. I don't know. And, God bless my mother. God bless my grandmother. They had their own story because, like you said, it was that era. My mother faced a lot. My father was very much older than my father. And then my mother was out here doing her thing because maybe she didn't feel loved. I don't know her story. Certain things I do know, but because she's gone, I'm going to let that rest with her. She faced a lot. And for that, I respect us to this day. But it took me for her to be gone to understand, like, Mommy, I get it. And I'm sorry. And that's why before she passed away, we were, as you read, in a good space. I used to judge her because I look at my daughter and I said, yo, nobody could never. No man could ever. How could you? It was times like I get headaches. I wouldn't even take medication because I felt like it was a drug.
You smoke? You drink? You don't smoke? You don't
Nah,
drink?
I'm a good girl.
You drink occasionally?
I drink occasionally. Yes, ain't nothing wrong with taking
Nah,
a
it's all good. I know you don't smoke. I don't know why I asked that.
Right.
I just want to say, I want to apologize to you.
For what?
Because I never knew that you was going through so much trauma.
But
and to grow up, to be who you are, to average 3.4 GPA and to upgrade it to a 4.0 now.
Yes.
Is amazing.
Thank you.
To be what they gave you, the honors, they honored you.
Yes, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society.
I couldn't even say that shit.
Yes, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society.
That's dope.
Graduated from Berkeley College cum laude.
Come on now.
And that's me beating the odds.
While you was currently going through
whatever I was
what
going
you was
through.
going through.
And that's me telling anybody, yo, your moments do not define you. You don't have bad days. You have bad moments. The rest of your life is not defined by what you're going through now. You're going to look back. Like, I look back and laugh. Me and my brother look like, yo, Nella, we was wildin'. Mommy was wildin'. We sit here and we talk about and laugh like, yo, Mommy was really feeding us oodles and noodles and cornbread. Like, we laugh at that because look where we at now.
Oodles and noodles and cornbread?
Yo. Nah, it wasn't even on the side. It wasn't even on the side. They put it in. So now we going to have soggy cornbread? Like, for real.
Wait, so your mother made the noodles first, then put the noodles in the cornbread?
Put the cornbread.
She beat my mom. My mom used to put corn in the cornbread.
So
the fritters, the corn.
Oh my God.
Yo, you said things that was triggering my childhood. Like, you were saying the beets, chicken, and the rice.
That's what I got beat for.
No.
That's the beating that I got that sent me to
You threw the beets. What kind of chicken? Was it fried chicken, baked chicken, barbecue chicken?
And that's crazy. And that's how traumatized I am. It was baked chicken.
You hate baked chicken.
The plate was white. It was string beans, rice, baked chicken, and beets.
You hate beets to this day behind
Hate
that
it.
shit.
Hate it. I don't even want to look at it.
You hate that meal?
No, I don't hate the meal.
You like the chicken and the rice, but the beets you still hate.
I hate.
No, I don't think nobody like beets. I drink a beet, and if it's in a smoothie and there's other blueberries and stuff in it and little bit beets, I could.
No, not at all.
But
I used to hate Christmas too, because if you read it, I got taken away around Christmas.
And I wanted to get in. We getting into that. We getting into that. But since you mentioned it, let's stick. No. Yeah, let's stick on it. You got taken away around Christmas, then you got adopted by your foster parents, which was Jehovah's Witness. So you really never got to celebrate Christmas.
No, and I didn't get adopted, unfortunately, because my mother was still fighting for her rights.
Okay, you just went into...
Yeah, I had her from the age of 6. She had me from the age of 6 until she gave me back at 14.
Okay.
And she never adopted me because my mother never gave up her rights. She went to the programs. She always made it look like she was doing good. She went to the drug treatment programs. She came to the visits on time. She made her court appearances.
So the motherly bond that was in her just wouldn't sign over the right to you.
To get it right.
So, but she had other children that wasn't taken away.
No, we know.
How did that?
We all.
No, because when they was coming to see you, were saying how you had 2 sisters. Was they twins?
No.
They was back to back?
Back to back. So it's 5 of us on my mother's side altogether.
Right.
It's 5 of us.
Is it 5 different men?
No. It's 3.
Okay.
So my mother, first it was me and my brother. We got taken away at the same time. And then, because it was just us at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mother started having other children. One of my siblings got taken straight from the hospital. Another got taken away a couple years after.
Mm-hmm.
And then another got taken away another time after. So we all ended up being into the system.
Wow, hold on. Wolf, can you go downstairs and thank you.
Right. So we all ended up in the system. It's just that my siblings, except for me and my brother, my 3 younger siblings, they ended up with family.
Okay.
So they still had that family attachment.
The family that they ended up with, it wasn't your father's side of the family.
No.
It was their father's side of the family.
It was my mother's mother. My grandma took them.
Now, this is why I was
confused. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Because when you said everybody and your grandmother, I was like, but where was these people when you was going through what you was going through?
I asked that. I asked my family that.
Everybody came when you was doing good already.
Yes.
Where were they? What was the answers that you got?
Life was life, and they was doing their own thing. Let me tell you something. Drug run heavy in my family, and I'm not throwing no shade. I'm not talking about them. This is just my story. This is what I went through. Drug was heavy in my family, from the grandmothers to the aunts to my mothers to the uncles. It was heavy. Mm-hmm. Everybody was. My mother's not the only one who got her kids taken away. Aunts got cousins. It was that's just what the Harris family was.
Yeah, that last name was Harris.
Yes.
Oh, so it's Miller. Okay, I got you.
I tell you.
I remember. I remember Harris.
Yes.
But it's even in the book you said you contemplated suicide.
Yeah.
Did you try it, or you was too scared?
I tried it. In the group home.
You want to elaborate on that?
Yes, in the group home. 14 years old, looking in the mirror. Like, is this really my life? Mm-hmm. Nobody wants me. My parents didn't want me. I'm in this group home because nobody wanted a teenager. The foster mother that I thought was going to keep me until my mother came and got me, gave me back. I am unworthy. Nobody wants me.
I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
She gave you back because of what? You was rebelling?
Yes.
But you was only You know what it was? Not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You was rebelling because of what you've been through.
Yes.
But nobody understood that. They just wanted the discipline. But it was more than discipline that you needed. They didn't
because you got me in a home where you have a set of twins right here. So she got her brother, she got her sister. Then you got your own family. You got your granddaughters, you got your sons, and I'm sitting here like, I don't fit in. And then we go into school, and hey, the foster child, and then the kids, that's not my sister. We just live in the same house.
Yep. That's crazy.
That's traumatizing.
I know you felt that. I want to
What?
show you something. Keep talking. I want to show you something.
That right there, like I said, you putting us in these other homes and you telling us we're okay. We are not okay.
Not okay.
We are not okay. And then I have to put up this facade because I don't want to be a crybaby. I don't want to be now, and that's where I have to find my happy place. Now I got to struggle to put on this front. Now I don't want to talk because if I'm talking now, I'm complaining. Now I'm the issue. Oh, you the crybaby. You're always crying about something. So now I'm quiet. Voice of a foster child. I have my voice now, but I didn't have it. Then it was taken away from me at 4 years old when I decided I need help. I'm being abused at home, and then y'all still take me away to cause more trauma?
Wow. Wow. Now, in this part of the book, you said, I was in a system where social workers only cared from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Foster parents who looked at me as a check instead of providing me with the basics that I needed. Now, when I hear that, it goes back into what I used to see. When I was growing up in Cyprus, it was a family that every time you seen this lady, she always had kids. She had a whole house full of adopted children, right? I think she had her own too. The foster kids always looked bummy, but her kids always was dressed up.
Yes.
It's certain things I seen as a child that you brought back memories. Even though I didn't go through what you was going through, I used to see stuff like that. How do we fix that? Where the system will start watching these foster parents to stop that, because that's still going on to this day.
Absolutely. It needs to start from on the inside. These workers, they need to be trained. You need more lived experience at these tables, and this is why I am in school now to become a social worker. More lived experience so you can stop saying, oh, I know what you're going through. No, you don't, because you didn't live this. I lived this, and this is what Born Covered is about. This is what Voice of a Foster Child is about. I am a lived experience. I can relate to you. Let me help you with your success story. I'm not doing this for a check. I'm not doing this for a 9 to 5, because I know when I leave you, I'm going home to my family. However, who's going to be here for you when we leave? And I want to be that person.
Are you going to these places like these foster homes and stuff like that, having sit downs and promoting your book in these places?
Absolutely. I just did a workshop over the summer, me and my husband. We went upstate to Newburgh, and we did a workshop for self-discovery. We did a workshop helping the kids define them. We did vision boards, and these are for kids that parents were incarcerated and they're being affected by the injustice system. I asked these kids, I said, tell me something about you, not what somebody said about you. How do you define you? And these babies couldn't tell me. Because growing up in the system, somebody is always defining you. They tell you who you are. They tell you when to eat and sleep. Like, it's sad. And when I did this with them, I'm like, by the end of that workshop, we gave them a graduation. In order for them to receive a certificate, they had to tell me something about themselves. Tell me who you are. Courageous, brave, resilient, optimistic. You are more than. You have a purpose. Your life on this earth, you have a being.
But as you giving them life, preaching life to them, the minute you leave that door, and they back to the people that work there. I don't know what she was saying. Y'all ain't shit. Still, go to your room.
I had that.
That's what I'm saying. Before we get into this, I need you to look. I need you to listen to this part in this.
45,
50 pages of paperwork. So they had to say, look, we gotta let you go. We gotta let
Right. I need you to hear this.
by yourself.
I got that.
You were saying how when it was your birthday, they gave you a cake by yourself, and the rest of the family that hurt. Went in the room. Yeah, so basically, rest in peace, my foster mother passed away from COVID. The one that did that to you? So you still got love for her? I mean, you can't tell people how to love. You can't tell people how to handle a foster child. I mean, everybody. I've been in like over 15 foster homes. Every foster mother was different. So through all the mistreatment you got, you still love your foster parents? Right. She woke me up every morning to go to school. She made sure I went to school. She made sure I graduated college. She made sure I had a job. So she gave me groundwork. Whatever her way for parenting was, it was her way. But whatever she did during the time that I lived with her, that's when we was around the corner from each other.
And that's right there. We raised off survival. We're not raised off of love. Like she just said, she woke me up every morning. But was that with love? You sent me to school. You were doing a job because you were getting a check. That's what you had to do. Because guess what? If your foster youth is not going to school, the government is at your house. ACS is at your house. The social worker is at your house. You got to send them to school. She was doing her job, but was it done out of love? Don't get me wrong. There are some foster parents out here that love doing what they do. I just didn't experience that. Because you have some foster children that don't even know they were foster children because the parent made them feel like they were their own. They're in Ivy League schools. They are entrepreneurs and CEOs like myself, but whatever.
Shout out to you. Shout it out. Shout it out.
And they had amazing foster parents.
But those normally come from the woman or the man that probably can't have children of their own. So they adopt and then they take it in. But everybody I know that was in foster care, it'd be stories like this. Now, who you know, why would you give a child a cake and say happy birthday and give a child a cake and put it on the table and then leave?
That's like Christmas time. We have to pick, if you don't have a family to go to for the holiday, we picking gifts out of a garbage bag at the agency. That's just what it was.
One gift out of garbage bag.
What? I remember that. Oh my God, the room was blue. Room full of kids. They calling you one by one. One toy out of a black garbage bag.
But those moments, you was happy.
I had to find my happy place. Did I really know what happiness is? I'm just living. I wake up and I'm here. Let's do this again. And that was my life for years and affected me even as an adult. Relationships after relationships.
That's what I'm talking about.
Looking for love.
Was you like a hopeless romantic behind that? That's why I asked you in the beginning. I said, did your childhood traumas affect any of your relationships in the beginning?
Definitely. So my older relationships, now that I'm older and I'm on my own, absolutely. Because now I'm independent. I'm on my own. I don't need you. You serve one purpose, you serve it and you go.
What was the purpose of being served?
I got an itch that need to be scratched. And
you was giving it up like that?
No, not like that. But I'm just saying. Not saying giving it up like that, but I'm just
shout out to Mr. Miller.
Oh, my husband. Oh, yes. I tell anybody he is my Boaz because he came in and he changed this whole perspective around. He came in and was my coverer. He came in and was my peace because at first I was somebody else covering. I was somebody else's peace because of my independence of what I went through in the system. I always wore, I don't need you. I wore that S on my chest. I could pay my own bills. I got my own apartment. I took care of my daughter at 16 years old. I put her in school. Them Jordans on her feet. I did that. This apartment I furnished. I did this by myself through the grace of God. So when you coming in, I'm already established. What can you do for me that I can't do for myself? Because I had to survive at 14. At 14, I'm in a group home. I'm doing laundry. I'm cooking. I'm going to school. I'm traveling. What can you do for me? I'm hustling. I'm stealing from Conway to have clothes. Now I'm getting the mentality of how to...
Conway, shout out to Conway.
So now I'm hustling. I'm stealing. Now I know how to boost shit. Ooh, excuse my language. Now I know how to boost. Because not only for me, for my daughter. So please tell me what you can do for me that I can't do for myself. So you only going to serve but so much a purpose in my life. But
and
then...
you did it with a good smile, so you never got caught. Because they thought you was cute.
Stop. And then so... I had Denasia, I had Ramaya, and then husband come along because now I found God in my life because I'm like, yo, this ain't it. This ain't it. I've been in some of relationships, abusive, not physical, but like
mental.
Because I was so vulnerable, looking for love. people could have probably tried to sell water to a well if they was trying to sell me love.
But you probably you was the moment what I'm noticing in the beginning stages of the book. I don't want to not say my thought. You was trauma bonding.
Yes.
You was bonding with people who suffered the same traumas as you.
Yes.
And you thought it was love, but it was really toxic.
It was.
That's why
because they see this
they
see this girl that is looking for love. She has no stability. She don't really know what love is. I can tell her anything to make her do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there mentally because I felt like nobody wanted me. So if I thought I was in love, it was because you was giving me something that I thought I needed in those moments. Mm-hmm. And that's what that was. But then, like I said, walking into church, it was a full eye opener. Like, yo, I am worthy. I am a child of God. I am who he say I am. I'm not who you say I am. Mm-hmm. Created in his image.
So where the point of your life where you said, I got to take control over my destiny? Where did this strength come from?
April of 2022, when I was like, this is not what I want. Me and my husband was in a space, and if I'm being very transparent, we was in a space because, like you said, I was trauma bonding. I felt like he triggered a lot of stuff, but it wasn't really him. It was a lot of stuff that I was holding on to that was triggering that he brought out of me. And he didn't cause the feeling. It was feelings that was already in there. Like I said, insecurities. Now I'm blaming him. You out here doing X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, really? This what we doing? Trauma bonding caused a lot. So if I'm finding it, and April of 2022, when I finally decided, you know what, I don't want to be in this space, is when I started writing this book. The name of this book was supposed to be Born Covered, because I was covered from the day I was born. The fact that I can sit here and look back at everything I've been through and sit here today and tell you I made it. God was covering me from the jump. And Born Covered became a program where I have workshops. I go out and I talk to people. I do speaking engagements. So I said I didn't want my book to be the title of my program.
So what's the name of your programs, and where can people that's actually watching the show could find you and to look these programs up at?
Borncovered.com. Mm-hmm. I have different workshops, self-discovery workshops. We have to do workshops where you could help with resumes, just finding out who you are. So you can find me at borncovered.com.
Is this all for little?
No, go ahead.
Are this for only little girls, boys, or?
So my sole focus is
girls.
Is youth.
It's the youth.
The youth first, because before I was in the foster care system and became a mother, I was a youth in the foster care system.
Okay.
So it's for the youth. They have info at crochelle.com. Mm-hmm. .org. We're going to get it. We're going to get it.
Just say it. It's all right. Just tell her.
info.crochelle@gmail.com. That right there.
Repeat it to
info@crochelle. info.crochelle@gmail.com.
Okay.
You can do that there. Then I have borncovered.com, where you can get the website, and it tells you what the program is about. You can also buy the book from there. But I'm geared around youth first. Then I'm pregnant teens, because I was a pregnant teen in the foster care system. And when you become a pregnant teen in the system, they always say your life is over. You're not going to be able to do this. And you're already feeling bonded as a youth. And now when you become a pregnant teen, now your child is bonded. So like, how do we work around that? Because now you're fighting to keep your child. Because as soon as you mess up, oh my God, they're going to take the child from me.
Right. Now, see, it's so many things. It's so many angles I could go. I probably needed to rent this for like 5 hours.
It's a
seriously, this is serious, because when you was a pregnant teen, you had your daughter at 16. You was pregnant at 16, right? Everyone, they frowned upon teen pregnancy,
right?
But you found the strength to say you needed this. Mm-hmm. Child pregnancy, teen pregnancy helped you,
right?
Because I feel like if you never was pregnant, you probably would have never got the help that you really needed,
right,
to push you to where you
where
at
I
now.
am today, right? And I say that, and
now don't go get pregnant because I said this. Because next thing you know, they're gonna use this as a soundbite.
No,
and be like, yo, he said.
No, and I don't promote teen pregnancy. I do not.
Right.
I always say, yo, you have a whole life ahead of you. Babies are not the way right now. Unfortunately, for my circumstances, it was different. I didn't have nobody. This was someone I could love. I call her, I said, daughter, my saving grace. That's what Denasia is to me. Because before Denasia came along, I was 14, I was in them streets.
You said Bainbridge. You kept saying Bainbridge,
yes,
but you never said Brevoort.
Right. But I mentioned that I was walking around the areas. So, yeah.
So you was messing with a lot of Brevoort guys.
I wasn't messing with, I knew people from Brevoort. It's a difference. I knew people from Brevoort. I knew people.
Reading your book and sitting in Brevoort, I was like, I really felt it. Like everywhere you described, I was like, I was Googling the addresses you put.
And I tell you, I was all over Brooklyn. All over Brooklyn. So Denasia definitely stopped me in my tracks. And calling my social worker to say, come rescue us. Because
living back with moms, it wasn't helping.
It wasn't helping.
You probably still know what crack smell like.
Absolutely.
You could walk in the home and be like, oh, somebody's smoking crack.
Or even in the change of the voice, because you know they give you that bass in your voice.
Right. Now, in the book, you got so many highs and lows, because it's like, soon as it's a high, you get happy, something happened, and you be like, damn, again?
Yeah.
This part is when you think everything is good and you get your crib and now you want to throw, you've been neglected the holidays. Now you want to throw a Christmas party. You invite all your family over. And next thing you know, it becomes a bloodbath.
A bloodbath. And I think that bloodbath became because we didn't know each other. Me and my siblings.
Y'all were still in competition with each other.
Yes. We were all sitting. And it's crazy. My sister, shout out to Aisha, and she's going to be excited that I even mentioned her name. Me and her have the best relationship now, because it was her and I that came to blows. It was hard because we didn't know each other. And because
say what you're gonna say.
Because we didn't know each other, we were throwing shots at each other. Mommy ain't want you. You a throwaway child. But mommy ain't want you. Mommy kept me. It was
Now, this is the part that I don't get.
Mm-hmm.
How can she say mommy kept me?
Because
if the system was taking its children away.
Because they were in kin care. So they got a chance to still see my mother because they were with a family member. I didn't get that opportunity to be with a family member. So even though they were with family members.
Why? This is what I don't understand.
I don't understand. You gotta ask them. I don't know why. Maybe by the time I was taken away, they wasn't in the best of shape to take me.
It was meant for you to go through what you had to go through to be who you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said this part, right? Damn, I lost.
Oh, you was into this book.
Yeah. Okay. This is the part when I knew that forgiveness is the first signs of healing.
Yes.
See, this book is not only just a book to read and cry, and this book is very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Because whoever read this book, even if you didn't go through the foster care system, been adopted like you, it's still things in this book that you could take with you. Because everybody suffers from traumas.
Right.
And I've been through a lot. Like you said your first time, experiencing death was your mom, right?
Right.
And you was what? How old was you when?
24.
That was your first time experiencing death?
That close to me, yes.
Man, I think I went to my first funeral when I was 13, man. Friends getting killed.
You can go to funerals.
Dead. No, friends shot dead at 13.
Wow. Yeah. You got some trauma in that story for you.
But, it's a lot. But I want to get to this part. This what made me know that forgiveness is the first signs of healing. Mm-hmm. When you said, I started telling myself that my mother wasn't a bad person. She gave what she knew, her vision of love, and did the best she could with the resources available to her. Mm-hmm. Clinging on to the pain she caused will only obstruct the blessings waiting to unfold in my life. That's true.
Right.
If you don't forgive, you won't get the blessing.
Right, and that's why I said give your parents grace.
Even if they did you wrong.
Because you don't know, because the resources we have today, they did not have that. They didn't know the trauma that they were going through.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know the trauma that their parents was putting them through. It was a domino effect. And at some point, when is the cycle going to be broken? And that's where I came in. So you have to give them grace, because now that I've had my own family, my own children, my own husband and everything else, sacrifices, I may not have turned to drug as a sacrifice, because that's just, I can't. Everybody is not that strong. Everybody is not that willpower. I don't know my mother's strength, but she gave it to me, whatever she had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know my father's weaknesses, but I got them, but I built off that. And I think once we realize our parents did with what they can, they did with what they had, it'd be mind-boggling, because I'm not their story.
So how, like, before we get out of here, we got a couple more minutes, but how did you feel, like, every time someone comes, like your mother, she came and then she passed away. Your dad, he came and then he passed away. Was you angry in the moment, or you just understood that? It was like, damn, soon as somebody come in my life, they die.
My faith is strong. And because of my family of faith and going to church and having that support system, I understood it. When my mother passed away, 5 years before she passed away, we got along. We didn't have to speak about the past, because I don't live there no more. We can't change it. You don't live there no more. Be a grandmother to your kids, your grandkids. You being a mother to me. You showed up when you needed to. I had a C-section. Who came and cleaned my whole house after I had Ramaya? My mother. Some things don't need to be said. Forgiveness doesn't need to be spoken. It was just what it was with my mother. So even though she wasn't there, I made sure I took care of her when she was gone. My father, he wasn't there until my mother passed away. He came in right after my mother passed away. I couldn't take losing another parent. These are my branches. These are my roots. I am who I am because of them, and who they wasn't. I don't have no anger, because look at me today. Still I stand. Still I'm strong. I'm able to sit here and say, Mommy and Daddy, I love you. I forgive you. I understand it. And it wasn't easy.
What do you tell your daughters?
What I tell my daughters?
What is something that because your daughters is older now. It's funny because I finished reading a book on, today's the 21st. I actually finished reading a book like on the 19th. And now it's like, damn, her daughter's birthday was yesterday. And I'm like, wow. It just, who knew that we'll book the interview on the 21st. I finished reading the book on the 19th, and your daughter's birthday be the day before that. I didn't, who does that?
Right.
I'm going to play that number too. I'm going to play your daughter's birthday as a number, man.
What I tell my daughters, be the best you. Don't let nobody define you. Love you. Happiness begins with you. Peace begins with you. Set boundaries. I tell my daughters all the time, you're amazing. I speak life to them. Journey is 4 years old. And she be like, I'm beautiful. And yes, you are.
So, wait, you got okay.
23, 14, and 4.
So you gave your husband a daughter?
Yes. And he gave me my boys, my bonus boys.
Your bonus boys?
Yeah, well, we a family of 6. See, it's been...
Wait, hold on.
Yes, we ought to, see?
That's not in the book.
Yes, it is. I said the Black Brady Bunch.
Now you did, but I didn't know how many kids came with that.
6. 6.
Shit.
Yes.
3, he gave you, he brought 3, added on to 1, and you came with 2.
Yes.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Table for 8, and we got the little dog.
So how many bedrooms you got?
What? Why are you all up in? Oh, we got enough. We got enough for our family.
But I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I swear to you, as long as I knew you, Nella, I never knew you was going through what you went through.
Mm-hmm.
I probably been more nice.
It's all
or
right.
more like
I think a lot of people would have been more nice.
Yo.
I think a lot of people, instead of walking around bothering me about my braces or my Sonic the Hedgehog sneakers and looking like I don't know what.
Nah, I never seen you like that. But you always look nice when I see you.
They would have been more nice to me. They'd be like, "Oh, Darnella, that's you." I'm like, "No, it's Mrs. Miller."
Before we get out, I'm happy that you're able to laugh now during this interview. Before we get out of here, let the world know where to find you on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And look in the camera and give one word of advice to any child that's going through what you went through that happened to read this book.
Okay, which camera I'm looking at?
You're going to be looking at this one.
This one?
Yes.
You can find me on Born Covered on Instagram. I'm on borncovered.com. And an advice I would give these children today: your living is not in vain. There's a purpose to your life. There's a purpose to your being. You can beat the odds. Your moments do not define the rest of your life. You will overcome. You have not seen your best days. The best is yet to come. You are not a statistic. You have dreams and you can achieve them. Anything seems impossible until it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. And that would be my advice. Your living is not in vain. Don't be a human doing, be a human being. And that's my advice to the kids.
Wow. From pain to purpose. Voice of a foster child. Darnella M. Miller.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for giving so much knowledge. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being on time. Everybody that come here never on time.
Because my husband said, if you on time, you early. No, if you on time, you late. You early, you on time. Proper planning prevents poor performance.
You dropping the jewels, baby.
My husband taught me that.
Nah, seriously, man. Thank you for everything. Shout out to your boyfriends in the book. I know you like, I made the cut.
That's what they exes, because my husband is my Boaz.
Yeah, oh, shit. Listen.
You know I'm going to big up my man.
Nah, it's all good, man. Shout out to your man. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can come back on the couch when you be on Oprah.
Yes. Come on now, Tyler Perry.
They're going to make a movie out of this. They're going to make a movie out. Not a Tubi movie, neither.
No. We could do Lifetime. We can do BET Stars with Tyler. I'm here for it.
Holla at 50. 50 right in the chat.
But I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to tell my kids, Denasia, Ramaya, Journey, Jaja, BZ, Nyshawn, I love y'all. Y'all keep me grounded. The boys, y'all accept me as y'all own. Mm-hmm. My boys, I didn't birth y'all, but y'all accept me as your own. And to be able to share this story and have them a part of it. My girls, y'all already know, an unprotected mother is going to always, an unprotected daughter is going to be an overprotective mother. And I don't feel bad for hovering over them because they need that. My husband, you already know how I feel about you. My Boaz, I love you, Sean Terrell Miller. China, my consultant manager, I appreciate you. Flo, I appreciate you for having me here. Thanks. My friends, y'all already know, my family of faith.
They gonna tune in because they like, nah, Flo and Darnella. This was only. That's why I told you I don't want to get you on the show until the book. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you challenged me. I don't read books. If I do read a book, it's probably something about Dr. Umar or something like that. Mm-hmm. But they rushing us out of here.
I see.
Episode.
But I thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we gotta just take a picture.